going on, RestoMods Nation? We are here at Garage Collective in San Diego, California to present another awesome feature. So we've partnered together to bring some awesome content to you guys. We have a 1967 Chevelle right here. This is Matt's car and it is incredible. He's got an awesome story behind it. So Matt, before we get too into the details of the car, tell me how you came across this car.
My personal favorite muscle car, period, is the 66, 67 Chevelles. This one came up from a private broker in Phoenix, Arizona. Caught my eye because of the subtle yellow lemon wood or butternut, they call it, paint. When I saw this, it kind of spoke to me. So this was the one I was after, and my whole intent was to get a car to drive, right? So I wanted it to be in excellent condition.
Was it kind of about 90% there? Was it mostly?
It really was, yeah. It was mostly there. It was in this shape, right? So when you're looking at the paint and the body, this was it. It was in really beautiful condition. And I wanted original 396, matching numbers, comes with that.
Nice.
Wasn't too concerned with the transmission, knowing I was probably gonna switch that out anyways. Was gonna do a few things to make it more drivable. Essentially, the aesthetic would remain original, but if you've ever driven anything from 1967, rather uncomfortable. Transmissions are not very good at all, the original 4-speed, and the shocks and stuff are just, yeah, pretty abysmal. So just putting in the Ridetech system changed everything. Now it's riding like a contemporary car.
Yeah.
5-speed Tremec is the other thing I did to replace the transmission. That's a contemporary transmission, shifts normally, overdrive. And so that was kind of it, apart from putting new wheels and tires on.
So Matt, you did tell me that some things that you were looking for in a classic Chevelle was a car that was very well preserved. Talk to me about some of the details on this Chevelle that are numbers matching and original.
Sure.
And then we'll get into the engine a little bit too.
You bet. Had to start with a Super Sport, obviously. You know, wasn't gonna create a Super Sport, needed to be an original Super Sport with the 396.
No tributes, no clones.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all original badging. This is the 396, 325 option. There were 3 options for output on the 396 this year. I think for a few of these years, that went all the way up to 375.
So as you guys can see, it's got the original badges, 396 turbojet right there for you to see. And, you know, just one of the reasons that we love to give away Chevelles from this period is the body lines. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You know, and you mentioned like one of the reasons you were looking for a 66 or 67, it's just because of how good it looks from the outside.
That's right.
When you start coming back here, you see the kind of that Coke bottle style that they were still using in the late 60s. And you come back here to the flying buttresses and it just looks so good. You know, they don't make cars like this anymore. This classic look is the best you're gonna get.
It's timeless, right? That's why it still looks in a way kind of contemporary. Everything that ages well, in my opinion, are things that are originally kind of classically designed, right? If you look at like old Land Rovers, they still look great because it's just a box, right? And it's kind of similar with this. Like this design is rather, you know, simple, but it works and it just kind of still looks today like something you could design in a sense. Like it just kind of holds up really, really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got the Super Sport badge right here to let you know she goes fast.
The badges are everything. Like the Chevy like killed it with their badging back then because it was so subtle, but awesome, right? Like the flags is one of the, you know, that's an iconic badge up front, and so is that, quite frankly, right?
One of the really cool, unique things about this badge is that the way they did it was that the S and the S, you put those together and it looks exactly the same as the badge on the grill.
Right.
You know, that same white S both times. You know, it's really neat.
But like subtle too, you know, you look at a Malibu and you look at a Super Sport, they're not all that different, right? It's kind of an exercise in badging, and then what's under the hood.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are looking at the crown jewel under the hood of this Chevelle. It is the 396, all original in here. As you can see, original valve covers, even the air cleaner. Was this pretty much how it looked when you saw it for the first time?
This was it. You know, it was sitting there just like this, just as clean. And really what's crazy is you see like there's just an engine under here, right? There is nothing else. In fact, like there is room to almost sit down on either side of the engine because there's not even an AC compressor in the way. So, which is really cool, right? You don't see this anymore at all. I mean, stuff was simple, really. You dropped an engine in and a couple other things, and that's all you had under the hood. And this car is really representative of that. You got a battery and you got a big ass engine, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really all you need. I mean, well, it really is, because with the modern suspension, the modern transmission, you really don't have to change anything else to make it a really enjoyable car for the modern day and age.
You get to enjoy the sound of this thing, which is half of it, right? These things are, it's just a big old Chevy V8. Nothing sounds better coming out of the tailpipes.
Yeah, yeah, and I did notice on the hood too, it's got the original like cowl induction vents to you know, send more airflow into
which is really cool because they're subtle things, right? The reason I love the 66, 67 body style is like a very kind of classic car that ages really well because it's really just very simply designed. There's nothing too crazy about it, but then you can do little touches or little details like the cowl induction, and that kind of sets off what is otherwise just a pretty clean, normal design.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I love how it looks in here, all original. Let's wrap around to the interior, and I want to see that transmission. I want to see that shifter.
Sure. Yeah, so again, this was all original, right? This car was in immaculate condition in a lot of ways, and you can see that in the interior, and the bucket seats are in extremely fantastic condition.
Yeah.
So is the back. And then the dash itself has that natural, 50 plus year old, 60, I guess almost 60 years of patina, which I think is fantastic, right? So no plans to change any of that. Original AM radio, all it has is heat, like I said. And the only thing that you'll see, there's two things that you'll see here that are new or changed since I bought it, and that is, of course, the you're seeing the shifter of the Tremec, and I replaced the original steering wheel with just this was an option back then, which was the wood steering wheel. Yeah. Just looks better.
It does, I totally agree.
That was it. Yeah. But otherwise, untouched since I bought it. Yep.
Wow. All right, Matt, well, this is an incredible car. If you're open to it, would you be down to take us for a ride?
Let's crank it up.
All right, let's do it. God, it rides so nice, even on some of these San Diego roads.
Dude, they're all so rough. Yeah, we were just talking about how good the Ridetech is.
Yeah.
It just eats these bumps up.
How big is the difference between driving it when we were driving it on the stock suspension?
It's not even, it's incomparable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like you didn't even want to drive it on these surfaces, because it was just almost annoying and loud and uncomfortable. And now it's just like driving any other car. Look at this. Except for they don't turn.
This thing gets looks everywhere you go, man.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
People always recognize a Chevelle.
People are passionate about Chevelles too.
Yeah. Well, guys, we just went for a ride in Matt's incredible 1967 Chevelle. This is an incredible car. I'm glad I got to ride in it. He found a gem and he turned it into a diamond. Matt, thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
So many more car features to come, you guys, so stay tuned. If you're subscribed to the channel, you are entered to win a 1975 Ram Charger that we're building. And of course, if you want to win any of the other awesome cars at RestoMods, hit up RestoMods.com, get some entries, and you could be riding in style like our friend Matt here. Keep cruising.